Welcome. This is Facebook Live 179. We are still so much in search of awesome. We're going into our third season here. My very special guest tonight, Leslie Banu Ellos. I'm saying it's because it's such a beautiful last name. Look at her. She's just gorgeous. She is an Instagram Geotag referral Jedi. She's like cooking. She's probably trying to do 200 referrals this year. Wait till she shares her best practice on how she uses Geotag on Instagram and group pages on Facebook to blow up referrals. This one, guys, is so good. I hate to even share it with you. Patty Colby's even in the house. Patty, good to see you. I know we're trying to do this. At any rate, she is Leslie's from a Perfect Hue, Las Vegas, Nevada, one of my favorite cities in the whole wide world. Salon owner. She's on watching tonight. You can see her on the feed. Emily Kleiner, and Emily got a gigantic jumbotron in the salon. She got the guest watching. She got the staff watching. I think she's even like Zoom.com. Anderson Cooper on CNN. Like, this is a big deal for Emily. Emily, good to see you. And you got a brand new summit coach, Jennifer Botwell, one of my favorite because she's like a social digital Jedi on steroids. At any rate, let me tell you why I invited this prodigy on. She's a level two, only a two. She's just getting started, 28 years old. She makes a major pivot at around 24, 25. I'm not going to take her story away from her, but I'm teasing you a little bit because her story is amazing. Her average service day already is $357. Listen, look at this, guys. Average service ticket is $150. Haircut price is $50. Hey, do the math, you guys. That's an average service ticket. That's three times as in big boom boom more. So she's doing an extraordinary amount of color work. Wait till you see her Instagram page. It's gonna freak you out. Doing on an average month 16 referrals a month. You guys do the math on that. That's just the side of 200 referrals she's getting through geotagging on Instagram and Facebook. Rebooking 60%. The new summit metric is product per client just under one. So she's like she's as retail conscious as she is service conscious. She's in beauty school. She like has to pivot at 25 from a corporate job to go to beauty school, and she's like halfway through the year plus associate program. This is gets on the floor last year. First full year on the floor is this. She's trending to crush that in 2019. So she is in the game big time. She's going to tell you her story. Graduates high school '09, gets an associate art at 2013. Does some time in corporate management at a resort. Decides she's going to pivot in 2017 and get back into the trade that's calling to her soul. Starts at Perfect Hue in 2018, and the rest is big boom boom history. Now, you have to absolutely be following her on Instagram. It's Leslie Hair Artistry. You're going to want to go there at some point because she's going to show you how she uses her platform to geotag. Look at the hair. These are all $150, $200 tickets. So she's very, very strategic in how she's using Instagram. Uses the bomb. iPhone 10, about 775 followers. Half of her guests are following her. She's doing 6 to 7 IG stories a week. She watches on her IG feed one video to every two photos. You can actually see how the rhythm of her videos go down one column on her grids, and then she has pictures and swipe rights on the other. So she's really, I think, in the social media game. Now, any given week, 12, 13, 14 guests, engages about 5 of them in total photo shoots at about 15 pictures per shoot. Every makeover is getting a photo shoot for sure, and she claims that 100% of her guests are either reposting her content on their page or doing selfie work and posting, and for sure tagging is like the 11th commandment there. And she does some extraordinary follow-up on watches the engagement that her guests are getting when they're posting. So she's in the game big time. In addition to geotagging on Facebook, she's also a member of a few groups Facebook private groups in the greater Las Vegas area because she's using geotagging, a variation of geotagging on those groups as well. So she is in the back of our green room. We're going to bring her out. We're going to get her talking a little bit about her story, and then we're going to have her engage us in what she's doing with geotag. So let's go back to get her now, and so that you can see. And I think she's right there. She is. She's right there. Did you hear me bragging on you, Les?
I did. Thank you.
It's great to have you on the show. I've just been looking so forward to this conversation. I know you've had a long day. Thanks for giving us a few minutes of your time tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. It's a pleasure being here and kind of sharing what I know and kind of what's been helping me in my journey.
Well, your story is extraordinary, and we always like to start with the story and kind of get a sense on the beginning of who are you and then what compelled you to not only come in this business, but you made an interesting pivot in your mid 20s, and that's a big, big move. So catch us up on your life as it relates to that part.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So about 2.5 years ago, I decided to quit my full-time corporate job and kind of pursue my passion in the beauty and hair industry. I've always been attracted to it ever since I was a little girl, doing my mom and family's hair and things like that. So about 2 years ago, I decided to finally take the leap and quit my corporate job and pursue my passion, go to beauty school. And during my journey in beauty school, I actually met Emily Clymer. She was teaching her over the top class. And I was like immediately interested in, working in a summit salon. And I don't know, that class just kind of solidified my decision in taking the leap and, becoming a stylist.
So that was one of those definable moments of truth, and then you start working in Emily, and then there's you had another interesting OMG moment that
Yeah.
kind of greased the wheels, if you will, fueled your fire to really start getting into the social media game. What was that?
Yeah. I'm sorry, the getting into the social media game?
Yeah, the what made the difference of that when something happened to you that kind of greased the wheels to kind of get you going once you started at Perfect Hue?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of realized that social media was like a major part of, the beauty industry. And in order to kind of attract the guests that I wanted to attract, I really had to kind of like up my game with my photo quality and my videos. And one of the things that kind of really made a massive difference for me was just kind of making the leap and buying the iPhone X kind of like really changed the game for me as far as like the quality of my pictures and my videos. Yeah, that was one of the big things that really helped.
So that almost poured some nitroglycerin on your bonfire. I mean, you were motivated because you had to pivot at 25
Yeah,
it's almost like you were well into your first livelihood, and you went, no, wait a minute, I'm changed my mind. That's a big move. So you're motivated there. You meet Emily in school. You kind of get the whole summit thing going. Now you're in the summit thing. You make the discovery on iPhone 10, and all of a sudden you're seeing the potential of, hey, if I really level up myself on social media, I can kind of collapse time, crushing time, which is what's happening to you now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
what?
definitely.
Yeah. So
I
what's?
felt like I had
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I definitely felt like I had some time to make up for, and I definitely wanted to like hit the ground running as soon as I hit the salon. So that was kind of my mentality going in. And
Oh, I love that comment because you are making. Some people would go, "Gosh, if I only would have done this at 21, 22," and it's like,
yeah,
shut up. It's like you caught up to where
yeah,
people are and then went beyond that. So this is what guys like me call collapsing time or crushing time using
yeah,
social media. So I mean that's why frankly I wanted you on the show tonight because I saw
yeah,
that happening to you. And so did Emily, by the way. She blew in
yeah.
my ear to have you come on.
Okay. Well, thanks, Emily.
All right. Well, now you're in a different place now, Leslie, than you were even, a couple years ago. It's working like on steroids for you. So I got to
Yeah.
feel a sense of, yes, it is working. And it was not only the right decision to pivot, but arguably now a brilliant
Yeah.
decision that you made. What's it like for you now, and how has all of this changed your life?
I mean, it's amazing now. It was definitely like a really, really scary decision for me, but I'm, super excited that I did do it. Um, I mean, I've learned so much from working in a summit salon, and I feel like that's exactly what I needed with being so new. And I mean, it's amazing what social media can do as far as like building your business as a stylist. And I mean, it's been amazing. I just feel like I'm, just kind of like getting started in the industry, and I'm super excited to see what's coming.
Oh yeah, I think you're just getting warmed up, and like I said, you already have a big bonfire with nitroglycerin on it. So I think whatever you are now is going to pale in comparison to where you're going to be on the front end of next year, and where you are now are ahead of a lot of people that have kind of been on the same trajectory as, or the same track that you have. So where do you go from here? What do you see happening for you? What's the future hold for you in the next year or so?
Yeah, I'm super excited to get my next level jump to level 3, and level 6 is definitely my goal. And I'm kind of like really excited about like sharing, everything that I've learned so far. I'd love to be a social media educator at some point in time too, and kind of just expand my horizons in the education industry, and just sharing everything that I know, and kind of taking that fear away from that initial start in like the salon from other people.
Well,
I feel like that's definitely what Emily did for me, and I'd like to do that for other people
oh,
as well.
absolutely. I mean, it's music to my ears when I hear people like you are interested in being a social media educator, because Summit now is like rapidly, leveling up their game on, social, digital, marketing and branding. And a lot of that is social media training to people
Yeah.
in the Summit community. So I think you're a poster child for that. I think I told you, talk to Emily, and as you continue to evolve, you'll be a bigger and bigger blip on our radar screen. So the one last thing I want to ask you before we get into your tutorial, and that is, there's a lot of people, frankly, that are
Yeah.
burned out in their career, and
Yeah.
they've been thinking about this. This was something that they wish they would have done 5, 10, 15 years ago, because like you said, as kids, it's stirring in our soul, but they have to take what looks like 5 steps back before they take 10 steps forward, and it's scary. What might you say to those people that would inspire them, give them the courage to take the giant leap of faith like you did?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can be scary at the beginning, but if it's something that's, calling you, I feel like it's scarier to stay complacent than to kind of make the leap and move forward. Definitely staying consistent with kind of like best practices in the salon, and if something isn't working for you, try something new. If you feel like you're a little bit burnt down, it's definitely time to maybe try a few different things with social media, and the way you're doing things. But I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, keep pushing forward, and if something isn't working, try something else. And one of the things that I concerned myself with a lot, as far as social media, is I was always worried with like perfectionism, but I feel like staying consistent and being active is definitely a lot more important than everything being so perfect, and that definitely helped me.
I love it. Well, we've got a handful of minutes left, and I am not going to let you leave until you share some of your best kept secrets. This whole thing on geotagging, as you were telling me about it as we were preparing for the interview, it's like there's no one doing this to the degree that you're doing it that I know. So I really want you to give us a little, take us on a social digital field trip on your page to show us how
Okay.
you're doing this. And I've actually pulled your page up so that we can take people on the ride.
Okay. Great.
So what is geotagging on Instagram, and how did you make that work? I think you said to me 15, 16 referrals a month, and most of those referrals are coming from geotag.
Yeah. So I was just kind of, trying to think of different ways to attract people to our salon that were, in the area. So one of the things I started doing was through our through the search page on Instagram, I go through our the places page, and anybody that has been posting in our area and tagging in our area, it's kind of how I find them. So you would go to our search page on Instagram, and then from there go to places. One of the areas that I often use, because it's in our community, is Spring Valley, Nevada. And after I hit that, it kind of brings up a feed of the different people sharing that location. And I kind of call it shopping for guests. I don't know if that's appropriate, but I kind of scroll through and invite the guests that I feel like would be a good fit for our salon, and kind of the guests that wear similar styles that I specialize in. And I will follow them. I will send them a message inviting them to our salon, and then also include like a little offer as an incentive for them to come in and stop by, and preferably, get one of our higher priced service tickets, like a blowout or Brazilian blowout or a chemical service.
Yeah, so as you were kind of giving us a ride on this, I was actually had my mobile on your page and clicking and navigating as you were, like giving us kind of the anatomy of how your what you call geotag. It's
Mm.
what makes it brilliant is it's so simple.
Yeah, it's very easy. I was like, why didn't I do this from the start when I first started doing
Yeah.
it?
Well, and I think that's when you know that you're onto something, when it's so,
Yeah,
I call it a blinding flash of the obvious.
yeah,
I can't see how something this cool took me a
yeah,
while. It's like, no, that's a profound idea. And what you
yeah.
told me when we were like talking on the phone was
Mhm.
that if you do 15, 16 referrals a month, how many of those referrals would you say are coming to you from Geotag?
Most of them, definitely, at least 80% of those are coming from the geotagging on Instagram or Facebook.
So if I do the arithmetic on that, out of 16 referrals a month, 13 of them, give or
Yes,
take, you're saying no, they're coming from Geotag.
yes.
Now, you're doing another variation of this on Facebook.
Mhm.
Talk to us about what that is.
Yeah, so I'm a member of various Facebook groups in the community as well, and I do like a similar strategy on there. I'll often post like a similar invite as an actual post in our groups, and then include the like a gift card offer in it as well. And what I sometimes do is go through the groups and see who's in the group and send them individual invites as well. Pretty similar to what I do on Instagram.
Yeah, and so as you're talking, this is one of your, you said you're in a group, one of your many groups is Las Vegas
Vinegar.
Supermoms. You're
Hmm.
a member of the group, you start engaging with members of the group, you go to their pages, you friend
Yes.
them, they friend you, you
Hmm.
send them, you personal message, private message them with an invite. Now, you're using also you send a particular types of invites, and I had one of those, and I wanted to show our viewer. Talk to me about how you do this. I actually you sent this to me, and I'll put it up as you talk about it.
Yeah, so I just send them like a little, like an invite note saying, I really love your page, and I often kind of sometimes specialize the wording for, what I see they have going on their page. But I'll just send them an invite saying, thank you. Thanks for following me back. I love your page. I'm a stylist in your area, and I'd really love to have you as a guest in our salon. And I'd love to send you, an X amount of dollars off of a color service or a chemical service in our salon. And I always offer them to reach out to me with questions and anything they might anything they might need answers to.
I love this. I mean, just those two best practices. If you said, Michael, when's the last interview that you did out of your 179 where you talked about an idea that was this safe, this simple, geotagging on both Instagram and Facebook? This is
Yeah,
we're making history tonight, Leslie. You need to know,
yeah,
because I've never had a guest come on to talk about this in such a simple,
yeah,
understandable ways to follow. And
yeah,
like you said, it almost insults your intelligence. It's like,
yeah.
this is so simple, why aren't more people doing it? Correct?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I wish I would have done it sooner. It's just so simple.
Now you have a couple of other keys that I'm going to just ask you about quickly.
Mhm.
You told me that you have favorite apps that kind of
Yeah.
add to the work that you do, and kind of editing apps and whatever. One was Insta in Stories, and the other is Spark Post. What? How are you using that framing up your content?
Yeah, I definitely love In Stories. It's one of the newest ones I've been using. They're extremely simple to use. They're great for creating like transformation pics. A lot of my guests really love to see start to finish transformations. I'll show them like the before and then the kind of a few transition, kind of like a few processing videos, and then I'll show them like the final look at the end, and I'll use In Stories for that. I get a lot of good feedback when I do that on the In Stories, and with Spark Post, yeah, that's what I use to create my highlight covers, and that's what I use to create like new guest like welcome offer cards.
Yeah.
They're both
So
super easy to use and like really high. They're both high quality apps in
Oh, I
my.
mean, I'm what an effect. So you're saying this highlight that you did, it's basically some before and after, but because you use those apps, it brought a
Mhm.
little bit more, not a little, a lot of production
Yeah.
value in it. So it made it work really, really well. And then you've got a tutorial on your highlights on how to reserve with you, your
Mhm.
hours, various incentives. And then what's really cool is on your grids, you have on the first grid going all the way down all of your
Mhm.
video work. I'm going to touch it just so that the viewer can see. And then
Yeah.
the other grids next to that is just your static your photography. But there's a rhythm
Yes.
there that you've built.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely started to notice an increase on my feed. I mean, I get a lot of more interaction on my stories, but on my feed, I started to notice the engagement improve when I started doing like a video to every two pictures. So that's kind of like the format that I use for my actual Instagram feed.
And
Even if
then
it's just like a short clip of, of the hair of the finished look, I feel like that improves my interaction.
and then the last key, you said that when you're using geotags
Mhm.
for your in your IG stories, you'll actually insert a new guest gift card for $20, and
Yes.
that you're giving the your potential guest, incentivizing it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I create that on the Spark Post app as well. I always include that in the like in the offer message that I send to potential guests to kind of offer them an incentive to come in and get like a color service or any chemical service.
I'm loving this. Well, listen, we're running over by 5 minutes, and I rarely, if ever, run over. But this tutorial that you're giving us was so rich and so deep and so brilliant that I said we're going to run over because I wanted to make sure that the viewers that are watching tonight and the thousands that'll be watching over the next few days, really, this is a real cool tutorial. So I'm going to let you get back to your life. I'm going to thank you for giving your time and energy. But before I do, you got to promise me you'll come back for an encore, because I think next year you're going to go from like 50 something to probably 75 or 80.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to come back, and it's been amazing. Thank you so much for selecting me to being here live with you for your interview. I'd definitely love to come back.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for coming on. We're going to give it up for you one more time. Preston Banuelos. All right, my friend, you stay well. I'm going to spend a couple minutes with our viewers to wrap this up. Give it up one more time for her, you guys. This was, you got to know that this one was, this whole idea on geotagging was nothing short of amazing. And what I want to do is, just in case you missed it, because it was happening so quickly, that I want to really show you kind of the ride, because I learned from her as she was giving us that ride. So I'm going to take you back to her page. This is her page. So when she wants to find and go like prospecting for referrals in her community, she hits the search bar, the little magnifying glass. You're going to get a pop-up, and then you can see on the navigation bar, it says places. She hits places. Then she has a pop-up. She'll key in her marketplace, which is Spring Valley, Nevada. Spring Valley. Now she's seeing all of the top posts on other pages for people that are on Instagram. She starts kind of crawling the pages and looking for guests that she wants. Here's one that she sees right here, and it's, there's some work that, and she will go to the guest page, begin to follow them, hit the follow button, and then send them a message. And the message that she's sending them is, first of all, I love your page, and I'm a stylist at Spring Valley area. I would love to send you a guest welcome card, and that's that $20 card that she was talking about, redeemable on a color, a blowout, at perfect hue. Feel free to reach out with any questions you might have. I mean, that's her deal, you guys. That is the deal. Yes, and like Jennifer says, it's so simple. She's getting 16 referrals a month. I mean, do the math. She's going to be around 200 referrals this year, and she says that 80% of the referrals come from this. This is what she's doing. She's doing it not only on Instagram, but she's doing a variation of it on Facebook with Facebook community groups. So, what is it? 80% of 200 people. I mean, what is that? Like 160 people from this. And she does that with her downtime. And she's filling in openings with referrals. So, nothing short of extraordinary. I want you to give it up for her one more time, because this was one of the best things that we've had in a long time. So, thanks again. Leslie, you did, it was just incredible what you did. So, if you're new to us, you're on now a page that is rapidly becoming the learning channel, for the Summit Salon and Spa social media training. So this was all, brought to you by our sponsors, and I'll mention that in a second. You're on the Michael Cole Summit page. There's also a Michael Cole Summit page on Instagram, and you'll be able to see the edited versions of these conversations on Michael Cole Instagram, IGTV. We can cook them down to like a 5-minute micro learning so that you can watch them in 5 minutes, or heck, even Bluetooth your mobile device to your car and experience it as a podcast. It's not something that you necessarily have to watch. You can listen to it or use the content for your salon meeting. So please take us up on the invitation. You should be living on summitsalon.com. You should by now have purchased the Summit Social Digital Script Guide, the Summit Social Digital Planner. Leslie uses those to plan her day as she goes out hunting on geotagging. You should have by now an over-the-top book with all of our scripts for traditional upselling, traditional retailing, traditional rebooking, traditional referral building, traditional price increasing. You're going to want that as well. We have a brand new website called summitsalon365.com, which is basically all of our video-based courses that you can engage in. It's a one-time membership fee, an annual fee a year, and you can access this 24/7, 365. So take advantage of that. More and more of our coaching and consulting is happening digitally. We are now using Zoom.com as our teleconference platform, and so you can enroll in our social digital intensives where we're doing webinars. We can coach you one-on-one. So call our 800 number, schedule a complimentary consultation with our people, because we're going in that direction in a big hurry. On summitsalon.com, we also have a library of calculators to set up daily goals and trackers as well. And again, these are complimentary, so there's no darn reason why you shouldn't be in the game. You can see that every show that I do, I always wear a new tee. We call it tack tees. And you can see that we have a beginning to build a line of these. There, every emblem that we create is is something that's a profound and spiritual. We have not only an Instagram page, a Facebook page. That.com is mctattoos.com. All the proceeds to that go to, I do a lot of work with elementary children, kindergarten, first, second grade, in literacy, so that they can get that done early, so that they don't have the struggles. And so this is something that we do that is strictly nonprofit and spiritual. So if you feel inclined, and the shirts are just extraordinary. Rob Miller is the illustrator, been our illustrator for 20 plus years. So please take advantage of that. At any rate, it was great to have you on tonight. We always end the show by gratitude, thanking our exclusive Summit Salon business partners, L'Oreal Professional Products. If you're not on Redken or Purology, Paul Pride is our newest family member, Baxter, Biolage, Matrix, Mazzani, Essie, Kerastase, Shoe, L'Oreal Professional. These are the brands of L'Oreal. L'Oreal sponsors us. They're a major sponsor for the work we do, and it's almost like public TV. It allows us to bring this to you. So if you are grateful, you should be doing business with us, and we hope you do, because to the degree that you do, it puts all of us in a position to keep the good going. Salon Centric is L'Oreal's distribution arm, in addition to State Beauty Supply and RDA ProMart. So again, wonderful show. Going to invite you to be back next week for 180, and we've got a surprise guest as well. So great night, and we'll see you then.